What it do? What the business is? What's up, family? I am Lo, God of vibration, Lord of light, Master of energy, King of dimensions, and welcome to Culture and Consciousness.
Think we know something, knowing something in a white racist system that would kill God if they could. What prestige is that?
Black people, we have been bamboozled. We have been played for stupid, and we are being laughed at all around the world because we have been naive enough to let our current greatest oppressor give us his religion, Christianity, and his God, white Jesus, in his image, and trick us to drop our own spirituality, even though the shit that went into making Christianity came from our spirituality. God damn. God damn. That's some shit.
Religion is not our biggest problem. Watch this question here. Name one slave master that didn't oppress us on the strength of his religion. Name me one that oppressed us without a religion. Name me one. And then tell me religion is not our biggest issue. And show me one instance where we didn't get oppressed by a slave master and take on his religion after. Show me one. Everybody in every religion they in cannot deny the fact that it's a religion that we walked away with after we was oppressed. I ain't met one. I ain't met one black person that tried to introduce to me a religion that they didn't get from the people that held them captive. But they want to talk to me about merely calling the white man the devil. What about taking this goddamn religion? Oh, but you're one of them slick Negroes who can do better with it than the white man can. Or the white man didn't even think that one day you was going to try to make the religion yours. Y'all so slick. He can enslave you, whip you inside out, castrate you, manipulate you, do genetic experiments on you, give you diseases, give you syphilis, incapacitate you, study the colors you like, watch how you relate to your own children, but he ain't never think that you was going to be able to use this Bible or this Quran to yourself. He never even thought that far. He slipped up, and somehow y'all going to use this book to free yourselves, the same book he used to enslave you, because the best thing that ever happened to you, nigga, is that you was enslaved, so you got the books, right? Just think about what you're telling people, man. If those books are so glorious, you're saying that slavery is the shit. If the Bible, Quran, and Torah is so great, you're saying that the best thing that's ever happened to us was slavery, because that's when you got introduced to your God. Just think about it. That Allah let us be in servitude in Africa for over 1,000 fucking years. Niggas believing in Allah. If a nigga called on my name and used my name to enslave my people, that shit be dead from day one. A nigga can't rob my fucking mother and then turn around and call on me like I'm his man and call me on the phone knowing that I know that this nigga robbed my mom. He can't call me and be my friend after he robbed my mom. That nigga is done. I tell him, yeah, you could come to the crib, but I'm going to set his ass the fuck up. How the fuck our God can allow niggas to call on his name and successfully enslave us for hundreds of years? How? No, answer that question. Answer that question. How could your God allow other people to call on his name and be successful for hundreds of years oppressing our people? How could he allow some shit like that? Don't you think he gonna have us looking and saying, man, who the fuck would allow these niggas to call on our fucking father? And he don't do nothing, and we still waiting today. We came out of that Arab slavery. We came out the Arab slavery, went into the Caucasian slavery, came out the Caucasian slavery. We in the Baltimore and Ferguson shit going on, and still your God ain't got no goddamn answer.
That's some shit, man. And the crazy thing is a lot of people who are becoming conscious of this, and they are positioning themselves, repositioning themselves. But it's still so many people who are praying to and worshiping white Jesus, when none of that shit makes sense. It never made sense. And I grew up a Baptist in the church, Christian. My mama probably, if she was watching the video, she probably gonna turn it off right now because she's upset. And even all through that shit, you never really got a clear understanding of what's going on here. What are we doing? What is this about? And you Muslims don't get too happy because you've been played for stupid too. You've been bamboozled too. Yeah. If you don't know that the ideals that went into making Christianity came from Ethiopia, or it was not Ethiopia at this time, the Kush kingdom. All the spirituality and the principles that went into Christianity came from the Kushites. A combination also came from Kemet. Some of it also came from ancient Kemet. But it came from us. So essentially they took our shit, repackaged it, and sold it back to us. And we went for the shit and bought it because we don't know that this is our shit. So you got a lot of Christians who make the argument that, oh no, whenever you try to say Europeans created Christianity, Christianity was first worshipped in Africa, Africans created Christianity. Yes and no. Yes, the principles came out of Africa, but it was not Christianity. They didn't call it Christianity. Neither did they call it anything, because we didn't have religions. We had spiritual practices that were just a way of life, a way of living. It wasn't a weekend thing or, something. It was the way we conducted ourselves. We didn't give it a title. So this Christianity in particular, and you know what we talking about when we say this shit, so stop playing stupid. This form of Christianity and this white Jesus came from Europeans, the oppressor, and they gave it to us while they was beating on our heads. The same thing goes for Islam. We did not have Islam until the Arabs began beating on our heads. And the thing about Islam and the Arabs is that shit happened way longer than the whole Christian thing. That shit happened for 1,200 years. The Arabs was on us and feeding us Islam. And we buying the shit. How are we allowing this to continue to happen now? Right now, there's no excuse, because if you want to know some shit, you just go look for what you want to know and you find the shit. Before modern times, I can understand maybe because they did a very good job at keeping our history away from us. Very good job. But now they can no longer just keep our shit away from us. The information is there. All you gotta do is just go look for it. And that's why I get so upset when I see these missionaries. Oh my God. You are going to go to an indigenous people who have been around before you, who have a better connection with the universal consciousness, the universal source of consciousness than you do, who know more about the universe than you do, and tell them that they need to lay down their old, savage, unsophisticated, uncivilized ways and follow your God, because your God is the only one true God. The audacity of you, Nick.
When black people were worshiping their ancestral God, it was written by the Greek historians. It was written by the Arab explorers. They were the most beautiful people on the planet. They were well favored of their gods. This is what was historically written. They were well favored by their God. Their God favored them. And they are the strongest, most powerful people on the planet. This was prior to Yahweh and Allah hitting that continent. When Yahweh hit and Allah hit, we have been slaves since.
I get upset. And I was sitting, I'm still in corporate America and shit, and I'm sitting across the table from this old white dude who said that, he knew somebody who was going to Haiti on a missionary trip. And the other dude laughed and, he was like, oh, he going to Haiti? I heard they running missionaries out of Haiti. I said, good. Because they got no business going to Haiti, trying to convince people to drop their spiritual shit. That's more powerful than your shit because you ain't got no spirituality. And that's the whole hype. Know that that's the whole hype. They want to remove you from your spirituality because they know how powerful that shit is. So if they remove you from your spirituality and give you their doctrine, they can control you through their doctrine because these are our words. And we place these in here to make you do and think how we want you to think. And then the shit is written in Shakespearean or some shit. So you really have to know how to decode to understand the Bible. The Bible is written in code. So the average person can't decode this shit. That's what the preacher is supposed to be. He's supposed to be the one decoding the literature for everybody and telling everybody what this shit means. And everybody, you open your Bible, read this passage. Oh, yeah. He tell you, this is what they talking about. That's his role, decode the Bible. But the average person can't decode that shit. So they can tell you that shit mean anything. They can make the Bible mean anything they want it to mean. Or they can find something in the Bible to justify anything they're trying to do. Understand this, man. This is all systematic. Know that, paint this picture. Know that when they first came to America, they discovered America. This is the European perspective. They discovered America. And once they realized they wanted to control and conquer America, the first thing they did was send the missionaries in. Facts. They sent the missionaries first. This is to fuck with you psychologically and make you put your guard down. That's that compassion. They give you the compassion first. Then they come with the guns. They send the missionary, then the military. Same thing in Africa. Later on, when they start trying to colonize Africa, first thing they did was send the missionaries. That's the hype. Then they sent the military. And it was crazy. I was reading something the other day. King Leopold II of Belgium, who slaughtered 15 million Africans in the Congo. He wrote a letter. He had a conference and met with all the missionaries. And there was a letter that, I guess he wrote to the missionaries or gave the missionaries, and it laid out the plan. And he telling them the whole scheme. He breaking shit down for them and telling them how to use the Bible for their gain, for their benefit, and for their manipulation. And somehow, this African, he bought a secondhand Bible from the market, and he found one of the letters in the Bible, folded up in the Bible. And that shit is out now. You can go read the letter and see what the fuck how they thought, what they was thinking. And had it not been for somebody finding that, they wouldn't know. But you don't even need the letter. Just look at what's going on. So all I'm saying is, we have to get back to spirituality. I'm not saying it has to be African spirituality. I'm not saying it has to be indigenous American spirituality. But we have to get back to the essence of who we are, our spirituality, even if you find your own shit, because it's power there.
So I'm not here to say which one's wrong or right. I'm just saying we need to challenge these things because we've been in a predicament as a people for so long. It's time to assess everything. Everything is up for audit at this point in time in 2016. We need to audit everything. Is this working for us? Is Christianity the way forward? Is Islam the way forward? Is spirituality the way forward? We need to start auditing these things because we've had a 1,000-year plus of this religion. And can we look back at it and say, hey, it's been a great ride? Or can we say, let's try something else? And that's the concept today. So for us as Africans, we need to understand that being spiritual is more closer to your nature than anything else, because it's about you having an experience rather than living vicariously through a concept. African spirituality is a fascinating tapestry of philosophy. It's such a brilliant thing to observe because it's about connecting oneself to one's higher self. So how do you do that, and what's one's higher self? One's higher self is the level of conscious and awareness one can attain within this physical body. Because the more conscious and aware you are of something, the more foresight you have to something. So on a day-to-day basis, African spirituality would be you wake up and you give praises to the sun. So when we say to the sun, we're not talking about worship. We need to be this clear, black people, that when we say praises to the sun, when you praise something, you're not worshiping it, you're just giving reverence to something else. So why we do that? Because the sun is an indication. It's the indication of life, number one, and it reminds us of our mortality. That this sun, anytime we see it, we are still here. So when you give praises to it, it's saying, thank you for the beauty of existence. So thank you for the flowers, the mountain, the rivers. Thank you for the men, the females, the children. It's giving thanks to that which allows us to exist. But the fact of the matter is, if there is no sun, you're not going to exist.
In the words of the great Dr. John Henry Clarke, black people, you have no friends. Sometimes I think we get caught up thinking that, because people are not European, that shit is cool, well, these are compadres. No. The Arabs are not your friend. Shit they got going on in North Africa right now is crazy. They done took over that whole shit, and they so racist against the original Africans, treating them like they don't belong. The nerve of these motherfuckers. The Japanese are not your friends. No. The Chinaman. Oh, the Chinaman. The Chinaman is not your friend.
Is what happened to Bantus who had discovered and tamed all the other continents in all the other countries in East Asia, and they accepted the Chinese blindly. The original Malays are now being ruled by people from China like him. These are the original indigenous Africans, Bantus of Malaysia. Semang, the original people of Malaysia, they are now ruled by the Chinese. Vietnam was a Bantu country founded by black people, and the black population today has vanished, and the Chinese now are ruling. By late 15th century ADE, incessant wars had for all practical purposes wiped out Champa kingdom. One by one their provinces were annexed until finally Champa and these people were entirely absorbed by the current Mongol Chinese inhabitants in the 17th century AD. Laos traces its history to the kingdom of Lan Khang, million elephants, founded long back. But today we have these people ruled by Abom Hang, Vorakith, president of Laos. He's Chinese, no two ways about that. Thailand, Hamiti Hebrew Ethics, added this on one of his Facebook pages. Our brothers in Thailand allowed the Chinese to help them. And now even the king, Maha Vajiralongkorn of Thailand, is Chinese. And the indigenous are gone. There's no time to rebuild. Taiwan, these are modern mulattoes who replaced the original indigenous black people. And this is the prime minister. Although she has resigned, but she was formerly the prime minister of Taiwan. The Philippines is now ruled by this man who thinks he's indigenous or native to Philippines. But the native are like this. The mountaineers, the Moros in Zamboanga. And President Duterte is Chinese. If not, he is sympathetic to China. Prime Minister of Cambodia looks like this. But the indigenous Cambodians were like that. Champa Shiva, the original, looks like that. Female jade, African. And now, this is the leader. Joko Widodo, president of Indonesia, is Chinese. He might be Muslim by practice, but he's Chinese. Look at him. And the Mongol Indonesian soldiers posed with the freshly killed native black African Bantu of Indonesia. The Chinese arrived in Indonesia and started to displace native black tribes in the mid-1400s, only 600 years ago. And they are processing and doing the same thing in Africa.
So I don't know if y'all are aware of this or not, but China is taking over the world. Clearly. They not hiding it. They not shy about the fact. I mean, they're stating their intentions. They done damn near took over Jamaica. They finna own that whole shit. Shit. Gwinnett County. It ain't nothing but the Chinaman up here. They own, you go down Pleasant Hill, the signs is in Chinese. You don't even know what they selling in that motherfucker, cause the whole strip Chinese. They own everything. The vape shop I get my vape from, Chinaman own that. The Juicy Crab, where we go get the seafood from, Chinaman own that shit. And it ain't nothing but us in there. All black people in there, bitch. Chinaman own it. Chinaman own the car wash that I go to get my car wash. Chinaman own that. So they in America buying up all this shit. They own that. But the biggest move they busting is in Africa.
How do you feel about the Chinese buying up everything in Jamaica?
I don't like it. But again, that's another black hypocrisy, because if you were a black and have business in there, they don't support you when you have business. So black people don't support black business. But the China, them did it, them support them buy them out, them love it. So the China, them call them family and say, come home, that business down, your business are going good. And then when you look, they take over the entire Jamaica. Right now, it's like a little Chinatown downtown in Jamaica.
Are you afraid that Jamaica is going to lose its culture because of that?
Sometimes I wonder, because like not even the roads in Jamaica we don't own like no more. The Chinese them buy it out, and downtown is just pure Chinese. It's like, you know, you never know what's gonna happen 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy that even think that. Like, didn't they buy like a $100 million highway or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The roads and stuff like that. So everything is like, that's what I don't like about what's happening with my country right now.
Africans, what the fuck are you thinking? They didn't let these motherfuckers move in. So let me just give you a quick, breakdown of what's going on. The Chinese are doing all these humanitarian foreign aid initiatives where they giving the Africans money to build railroads and facilities, government facilities. I mean, they just giving them money, and they signing contracts with them. They siding with them on all their political shit, and they done became best friends. And the Asians, the Chinaman that came in there, they got their private industry all up and through that shit now, and they moving in. History repeating itself. And this shit is frustrating because to me it's like the leaders in Africa have to be corrupt and bought out to be letting this shit going on. They can't be this naive. There's just no way that you are in this position of power and you that naive about what has happened. Okay, they giving you some money. Okay, you need some help. But my G, you should die trying to survive before you sell your continent. You selling your country, they all selling their country out. But the whole continent is on the shit. And do you not know that you traded with the Arabs Okay, so the China need resources. You know, the whole shit set up like, okay, we need y'all resources. Y'all got the resources. Boom, we do this little shit for y'all. Y'all give us our resources. We do it like that. Okay, but they way too deep in there. So you traded with the Arabs before they started their genocide and domination. You traded with the Europeans. It was a whole big trade set up with the Europeans before they started their genocide and domination. And now here you go again with the Chinaman. And you letting him get up close and personal. The Chinaman moving in. Like he's staying there. The Europeans didn't want to stay there. Shit's too hot for them. You know how they be. But the Chinaman moving in, he done packed his bags. He coming over there. Now I got this very spiritual woman that I follow, and she got a whole other breakdown about what they doing and what they got going on. I don't even think y'all ready for that whole shit yet, but I'm just appalled by the fact that Africa is being sold out by its leaders to China. And yes, they're coming bearing gifts now, but the military will follow and they will try to wipe y'all out and take the continent because they need the continent. That's what they really want. They want the space and the resources. So they paying for them now, but they not going to keep paying for them. Just like nobody else kept paying for them. So what's up? You tell me.
Zambia is the first African nation to become a full Chinese colony. And, you know, we joke about some of these things, but what has happened is really, really tragic. And I warned you guys this is what was going to happen. But also this shows you that we're closer and closer to a major global war. Because I told you, the Europeans are not going to just sit back and let China take over Africa. Now, what has happened is that Zambia defaulted on a couple of loans. And so they lost their power company, ZESCO, and that has been taken over by the Chinese. Their major national electricity company is now being run by China. Now, if that isn't even worse, they've also lost, a few months ago, they lost their Zambia Broadcasting Corporation. It's called the ZNBC. I think it's the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation, which is now fully owned by China. And, you know, the government has been denying that this is the case. They've been trying to play cute. They've been trying to play, you know, like everything is okay. But they have actually been in secret talks over how their national electricity company would be taken over. This is crazy. Do you think an African country would be allowed to run China's national electricity company? And, you know, it just shows you that China's neo-colonial strategy is reaching ahead. I mean, it's reaching its climax. They've been doing this covert business for so long. And now, you know, they've got their tentacles so deep inside. They've got their tentacles so deep inside that it's going to be hard for some countries to turn back. Now, what's happened is, you know, the whole strategy is they encourage indebtedness. So, hey, they come with the money. They come with the money. They give you. Then they, once you default, they start to take over strategic assets.
But the biggest shit behind all of this is that they are racist. Right? So if you look at Africans talk about how they're being treated by the Chinese, if you look at Jamaicans talk about how they're being treated by the Chinese, if you look at anywhere where these motherfuckers is at over dark hue people, Aboriginal people, if you listen to them talk about how they are being treated by the Chinese, it's no good. I'm not saying not to trade. You got the resources, bust the trade, you know, but you got to control the trade. You have to control the situation. You have no control over the situation. They financing the shit. They coming over there. They getting the shit. They setting everything up. You just a spectator in your own country, pretty much. And you just happy that they doing the shit. So don't get it twisted. I mean, that's where your money come from the trade, but you're not controlling the trade. What's up, family? If you are watching this video and you like what you hear, go ahead and like the video. Make sure you subscribe because I got a lot of stuff I want to talk with y'all about, man. If you got comments, you got things to say, leave a comment. I'm all for discussions. Coming together, let's find some solutions. I'm with it. Thanks for watching. Coach in Conscious.